we can expect.
Interesting. All right, Jackie, thank you. Crews are mopping up a wildfire near homes in Bisbee. That fire is holding at around 100 acres. It's 30% contained. The fire has not grown much in the past 24 hours. Crews have been using helicopters to help secure the lines and put out hot spots. No buildings have burned and all evacuations have been lifted. The cause is still under investigation. And crews fighting the Crooks fire south of Prescott say they are making progress even against high winds. The fire is up to 20% containment, and it's also burned more than 8,000 acres. It has been growing on its northern and eastern flanks. Firefighters are working to improve containment lines in those areas. No new evacuations have been ordered, although some additional communities were put on set notice yesterday. And crews are mostly mopping up the tunnel fire northeast of Flagstaff. It's still holding at around 19,000 acres with not a lot of active burning. It's 30% contained. A customs officer at the Port of Douglas has been arrested for sexual misconduct with a minor. Douglas police say they arrested Aaron Mitchell. He's accused of picking up a 15-year-old girl on her way to school on Monday after identifying himself as a law enforcement officer. Police say he forced her back to an apartment in Sierra Vista where she was sexually assaulted. He is charged with sexual misconduct with a minor. Today, Dr. Anthony Fauci is clarifying his remarks on COVID-19 after saying the U.S. is out of the pandemic phase. Last night on PBS, he said we don't have the level of infections and hospitalizations we saw during the Omicron wave back in January. Today, he told the Washington Post that the country is transitioning toward COVID-19 becoming an endemic disease, more like the flu. He said the threat is not over for the U.S. and it's still a pandemic for much of the world. Arizona is out with its weekly COVID-19 numbers. State health workers report about 2,300 new cases and 99 deaths since last week. But do keep in mind, these new cases do not include those where people self-test at home, and many of the new deaths go back several weeks. Our Bud Foster will have a closer look at the trends here in Pima County coming up at 9. A federal judge has formally ordered the Biden administration to stop preparing to phase out Title 42. That's the pandemic rule that speeds up the expulsion of migrants without letting them seek asylum. Earlier this week, the same judge said he would grant a temporary restraining order after a lawsuit filed by several states, including Arizona, aimed at keeping the policy in place. The Biden administration has been wanting to phase it out next month, and today Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas acknowledged that will lead to more migrants.
We expect migration levels to increase as smugglers seek to take advantage of and profit from vulnerable migrants.
Mayorkas testified today before House lawmakers. Homeland Security officials had been making plans, including putting more personnel in the border region. Homeland Security is also seeing thousands of Ukrainians showing up at the U.S.-Mexico border as they flee war in their homeland. DHS says they have processed more than 20,000 of them. They were also granted humanitarian parole on a case-by-case basis. A former U.S. Marine is on his way back home after being released from Russian custody. The U.S. negotiated for the release of Trevor Reed through a prisoner swap. Despite tensions over the war in Ukraine, Reed was sentenced to 9 years in prison in July 2020. Russia accused him of endangering some of their police officers in an altercation. U.S. leaders say he was being punished for a crime he didn't commit. His family also said he has health problems, including lung issues.